All right, welcome everybody. This is Let's Talk More Noise. This is your host, myself, Keishan Prince, and Tiago Mendez. Both of us are going to be holding a great session there, talking with two young lads about their experience abroad. We want to get them locked in and let's hear what they're going to say. Go.
Hi guys, good morning. So today we're here with Dan and Luke. Today's discussion is based on an experience they had, which was going abroad to play football. And nowadays we do get a lot of people talking bad about the industry. And myself and Keishan, we like to do things properly. We like to work clean and professionally. But at the same time, we also feel that in order to change the perception of the industry, we're going to have to make certain changes, and we're going to have to, show people what really happens as well, and bring those to justice that are sort of like playing around with players' futures. So Dan and Luke are going to talk about the experience which was going to Spain. We're talking about various things from start to finish, from the first moment they spoke to the person to them getting in the country, how they was treated, and what's brought them back home. So just to start off with, if you guys want to explain about your experience, how you came about the opportunity, how did you meet the person that gave you guys the opportunity to go abroad?
Luke. Yeah, Luke. Basically, just off, found the guy on Instagram doing lives, and then contacted him through there.
Okay.
And then from that, sent him some highlights, and then just got more details.
What was his lives containing? What sort of lives was he doing?
Just like information-based Q&As, and just talking about details about the trials and the opportunities out there.
Okay, so his lives was based on showing people that he had opportunities to go abroad. Then is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And that's obviously what drew your attention to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you made contact. He asked you guys to send CV and footage, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, what happened? How did the conversation go? What was said? Go further after that.
Then obviously looked got more details about it. And then after ringing him up with my parents and stuff and finding out more details surrounding just flights, dates, what's be involved. Also, then the deal, you had to pay £600 euros up front, and then you pay the rest when you get there.
All right, sweet. And do you feel did you guys do any diligent checks before sort of putting the person on the phone to your parents and sort of?
Yeah, I spoke to a couple of the players that went out with him previously, and they were saying it's all legit and stuff. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Now, legit might be in the sense of them an opportunity, right? Yeah. So I mean, when someone says that it's legit, or it's like me asking, does Keishan work with players? The answer is going to be yes.
Mm-hmm.
But do you feel like you dug deep, and did you feel like you asked the right questions for moving forward? So personally, did you feel like you asked about how's the travel up there? Does he pay for flights? Did you guys ask about accommodation?
Yeah. We asked
Sorry, Dan?
Yeah, we did do a lot of that. I think the main sort of thing which we were probably quite dumb about is obviously the fee, and obviously we thought that was obviously all going to the club, and obviously when we're out there, it turns out obviously it wasn't. So obviously we're obviously well aware of obviously that there is scammers out there, and obviously so we were getting the details. Speaking to other people, doing our own research, at the club and stuff. But it was more just obviously the amount and how obviously deal went ahead despite the amount, which now looking back is just ridiculous.
Bit heavy, yeah. Did you guys get any official confirmation from the club or?
Yeah, we got like a
You did,
letter.
yeah. All right, fair enough. So moving on to the next thing, which was going to be the cost. So you guys already explained that you paid £600 initially, and was that each person, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So £600 already to start off with for both of you. Did you ask him what that was going to cover or what the cost was for?
Well, that was just
The
said,
reserve.
that was like to confirm that you're coming and stuff. And then I guess that would be part of the money you wouldn't have to pay when you get there, basically, for the trial and all the accommodation and everything for 2 weeks.
Okay. So the cost initially was for you to just go out there for 2 weeks then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't have anything set up where you was going to go there and just play for that team for like a whole year. It was actually just...
No. 2 weeks
trial.
Well, all right. Keish, anything you want to add before I move on?
Yeah, I mean, that happened to, well, not happened to me, but initially when I went to Spain first time when I was 21, there was an agent who had an opportunity for me to go to Spain as well, but he was charging about, I think, 400, 500 euros. And I was like, the big man, I'm not paying that money. I said, it ain't happening. You know, I'd rather go over there, learn how to speak Spanish myself and try and wing it, you know, than to pay you that money. But I think he saw my videos and stuff. I was playing. I was at the time, I think I was at Tower Hamlets. I think I was in Essex Senior. And then I just said, you know, he lowered it down to about 150. And I went and he said, you know, I'll bring you to this team, a figure of 3 clubs. And then I said, all right. And I went over. But, you know, to be fair, he did bring me there to the club. But there was a few deals that could have happened, but he was just a bit greedy. I think he was looking for, because most of these agents, they're looking at you, a lot of young people like yourself, as an opportunity to just make money now, as opposed to work with you and then possibly make something in the future.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the dangerous thing about it. And this is why we want to do this, because a lot of people obviously shows our work, because we don't charge a, you know, 400, 500, 600 pound fee. A lot of agents we used to work with were like, okay, yeah, the players have got to pay 600, 500 pounds. I'm like, they ain't paying nothing. What do I need to pay you for? You understand? They're like, oh yeah, this is how I work. I'm like, no, that's not how we work. And so that's the thing. So yeah, I'll say, you know, how old was you when you went over there?
18.
18.
Recent,
So
isn't it?
same age.
It's very recent, Keish. It was literally like not. I reckon it was before lockdown, wasn't it?
Before lockdown.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the second lockdown. It was like August.
August. Okay, so this is.
So it's very fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So where was you guys at before?
We just at like we had a college like scheme for 2 years, and then obviously went out there, and then in August time, and then came back like probably 4 weeks ago or something, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Honestly, I don't think charging a player a fee is wrong, depending on the work the person is doing and what costs they're actually covering. You know, so let's say, for example, someone's charging you guys £100, and you know they can turn around and say to you, honestly, like, look, this is to cover, let's say, for example, my phone bill, the time that I'm putting in, all the admin stuff that I'm having to do behind the you know, scene. That's correct. We're not saying that, you know, it's wrong to charge you, it's wrong to cover X amount for your time and effort and your work. But I mean, honestly, like Keish was saying, through his own experience, initially, the guy was asking for a large sum of money. Then as soon as he showed his video footage, I think that sort of humbled him now. And he's looked at Keish now as an asset. Okay, maybe I don't need to charge him as much because he can actually come over here and play and he's going to make me money anyway. Mm-hmm. So I think like going forward, people need to really start analyzing how much they get in charge. And, you know, honestly, if the person does see an opportunity with you guys, he can make that money once you guys arrive there and you get into the club.
Yeah.
So he could have easily just charged you guys his costs and maybe made £100, something. I don't know, wherever he wants to value his time. But I just think that, you know, altogether for you guys to obviously pay £1,200 before you've even gone over there. And we're talking about Spain, where accommodation and food is very, very cheap. Yeah, so I'm from Portugal, so accommodation can be anything between 150 to like 300 a month, even less.
Mm.
Food is very cheap at that. You can have a good meal out in a restaurant for like €8, €7. So, you know, you guys really need to be analyzing that, you know. So that was the initial cost, £1,200. And then how much did you end up paying once you got over there?
I think it was like 1,600 for 2 weeks.
All right, and that was on each, or?
Yeah, that's counting the 600.
Okay, so altogether you guys paid about what, 1,600 each?
Yeah.
Wow, so that's what, 3,000? Wow, £3,200 for 2 weeks in Spain.
Well, anyone
You
out
literally
there?
could have stayed out there for a whole season and paid for your own accommodation and food with that.
Yeah, that's another thing that obviously I wanted to do, like questions, but like now I know obviously why, because obviously we were like, oh, can't we just go in our own accommodation where it'd be cheaper?
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, well, obviously the club need to see how you are and stuff, because it's obviously in club sort of accommodation. And obviously that was like in some ways a good reason, because obviously they need to see like your behaviour and like how you treat people and stuff. But obviously that's another just excuse why, just to basically get the
I
money.
can promise you, yeah, no club accommodation is £3,000, especially in Spain. Yeah. Hands down. It will never be that high, I promise you. Ever. Not even £500, like they should be charging you for 2 weeks, to be honest with you. But you know, it's a learning curve, I guess. It was an expensive learning curve, but you know, one that you guys probably needed to face, and now you're more equipped going out there for the future. Now, in terms of travel, was your flights paid for with that money, or did you have to pay for your flights on top of that?
Yeah, we had to pay for our flights.
You had to pay for your flights as well. Wow.
Who's this guy, man? What's his name?
So,
this is some judge jury.
sorry, Keisha, you're quite not.
Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay, my connection. I was saying that.
Yeah, your connection's not that good, but yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So your connection's back now, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that who's this guy? Because that's robbery, man. That's daylight robbery, if I'm honest. Anybody that has agents asking it, or anyone asking for big money like that, just need to contact us, because yeah, we will proof that. Because honestly, like, even if no one signed with us, yeah, and they said, listen, a guy's asked me to pay £700, £800. Like recently, it happened to one of our players, and I was not happy about it, if I'm honest. He paid some money to go to Poland, and honestly, because I'm in so much group chats, and I went down and I was thinking, huh, you paid this money already? And I knew already he was not ready to go over there to play. I knew it. But I know the guy who's doing it, he's looking at Christmas. He wants to get little presents, you know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, he's looking to pay people or sort something else out. And I just said,
so altogether, how much would you say your flights was for both of you?
They weren't too much, to be fair, like 60.
What, £60 each or altogether?
Yeah, each.
Well, that's about another 120. Sweet. And then once you guys got over there, did you get picked up from the airport?
Yeah.
You did, yeah. You got picked up from the airport, yeah. Sweet. And then what was the accommodation like?
Not great, if I'm honest. Like, just with quite a lot of other boys, so it was like quite
Very
cramped.
Yeah.
Food was
and considering,
great.
Considering you was the whole world's in the middle of a pandemic, for you guys to be together in the same accommodation cramped up, it's not healthy. So obviously you guys weren't happy with that. Did you raise any concerns with him at that point?
Yeah. First day we were like, oh, this is not good enough, like, because the food was pretty rubbish as well. And we were
food was going to be my next point, and you guys have actually showed me a picture, which is crazy. But yeah, so once you raised those concerns to him about the accommodation and the food, what was his response back?
To be fair, it got a bit better, but it was just still like just.
No, it's like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll improve it, but then it doesn't really improve.
I think because the landlady person just was so difficult that it was just in the end I was just like, oh, it's although I made issues like with what happened, I was just like, oh, since I'm on here to trial, I just want to focus on my football.
Yeah, exactly. And he knows that you've already paid him now, so you're not going to turn around and be like, oh, I'm leaving tomorrow. Obviously, you're going to stay there for 2 weeks regardless, even if you're unhappy. But I want to speak a little bit about the food as well. And are you guys on the call through your phone or laptops or computers?
Through my phone.
Off the phone, so you won't be able to show a picture. It's fine.
Yeah.
Picture after, me and Keishan will obviously put it up. But yeah, that was not good. But I mean, in terms of food, do you want to just explain a little bit of what you guys
like I'm used to, like, I cook a lot myself, and I'm like really into healthy eating. So obviously getting like the carbs, the veg, the meat, the protein in. So when I got there, I was like, well, yeah, very shocked because breakfast, like they were offering us like Cocoa Pops, which obviously is just the kiddie food. So I buy eggs and like bread and stuff, and then it was just so like cheaply done with the food. Like we just get like some like chickpeas with or like some soup or something like that with like a bit of, like chicken in.
Well, you didn't have a balanced diet. You guys probably.
Well, yeah, I did, but I just had to go to.
You had to do it yourself, basically. Right. That's obviously again another cost which was coming out of you guys' pockets, basically. Now let's get into like the actual team and training and how the actual experience for the team was. Do you feel like you went to a decent team?
Yeah. Football thing. That's what kind of